All right. So we've been talking about Mixolydian modes, and a Mixolydian mode will yield a dominant seventh chord, from the first degree of the scale. When we look at the Mixolydian mode, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. That flat 7 is sort of a bluesy sounding note. It's quite colorful. It's very defining of the chord. Yeah, you can hear that flat 7. Okay, cool. And it belongs in the chord and in the arpeggio, right? Okay. But how about notes? We also talked about color tones, right? And before I go to the blue notes, I should talk about color tones. Color tones are still in the Mixolydian mode, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 being one of them. Right? There's the tritone and the 13 as a color tone. And 9 is another one that's a color tone. And 9 is up here. It's just a tone away from the A here. Or here's another voicing. Nice sound. Okay, but those notes are really color tones. They're not blue notes. They're diatonic, meaning according to the scale. And just the same as the chord is spelled diatonically according to the Mixolydian scale or the Mixolydian mode, same deal. Okay, but now let's just talk about a blue note. Probably the most common blue note is the flat 3. So when we play a dominant seventh chord like this A dominant seventh chord, we have the major 3, the one that happens in the Mixolydian mode. There it is, that major 3. The flat 3 is a minor 3, and that is not in the Mixolydian mode. The minor 3 is not in the Mixolydian mode. But when we approach it properly, it can be really a cool sound. So here we have the root, right? Well, let's take a look at where those 3s are. Here's 1, 2, 3. There's your flat 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. And there's my flat 3. Right. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. And there's the flat 3. Okay. Now check this out. Right. Let's just incorporate a flat 3 into a couple of lines. Did you hear that? There's the flat 3, right? A great sound. Here, how about this one? I'll use the 7. And I'll take the flat 3 going to the major 3. Right, how about up here at this octave? Here's my major 3. And then we could have you can hear the bluesiness of that flat 3. The same thing is going with the flat 3 is going to apply to let's say this A5 chord, and here's my flat 3 down below it. Right, you've heard that a bazillion times before, I'm sure. Or I could add the major 3. You get the idea. Okay, so that's a flat 3. That's definitely a blue note. For those of you who have played this pentatonic scale, some mistake this pentatonic scale for being the blues scale. It's not the blues scale. But one thing that it does have is that flat 3 in it, right? But you're not moving to the major 3, right? So here's your flat 3. Here's pentatonic. And then here's your, right? Here's the chord. The chord has the major 3 in it, but with the pentatonic scale, you're playing the flat 3. And that, in fact, is what makes the pentatonic scale sound bluesy, because you're playing a major 3 against the flat 3. In other words, you're playing a C sharp against a C. Yeah. So you've got a C sharp against a C. That's pretty funky. Okay. So yeah, so that's the flat 3, which you can incorporate into your arpeggio. Check it out. That's really cool. So in each case, in each octave, I've got that flat 3 chromatically passing to the 3. Right, you'll start to hear lines of tunes and blues licks when you start to use this, and to just approach another blue note. It's the flat 5. Now, if we take that pentatonic scale, which I did play, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because many of you may know this pentatonic scale. And if I add the flat 5, there it is, right? Sounds a lot bluesier again. It's a great sounding scale. But I can do the same thing, the same idea in the arpeggio, right? Right, so I have 1, 3, flat 5. So the flat 5, all you have to do is again use you could use the Mixolydian mode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flat, right? And then you go up an octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 or 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 5, right? Or flat 5. And this is why it's so important to have scales underneath the chords, because you can begin to easily find those altered notes. You know, in this case, neither the flat 5 or the flat 3 belong in the Mixolydian mode, but because they're not in the Mixolydian mode, they're just as easy to find, right? So, you know, right, there's the flat 3. Flat 5. Boy, that flat 5. So if you So if we did like a scale of the funkiest sounding blue notes, it would have to be flat 7 would be the least funky. Flat 3 would be the middle funky. And the flat 5 would be the funkiest of all. There it is there, right? Flat 5. It's a really pungent sound. The word funky used to mean smelly. That's what the old jazz players used to call funky, because it's pungent. It like smelled like it was just pungent. The equivalent of pungent in a sonic capacity, right? Okay, so I challenge you to take a look at the flat 5 and the flat 3 within the context of each of the chords that we have been playing in the blues. A7 chord, D7 chord, and E7 chord. Track down those blue notes. D7 chord, 1, 2, 3, right? Flat, right? And they will hear the 3. The 5. There's the 5, right? And that way, if you can give the note a name, you will be able to remember it. Think of it, the same thing happening with somebody you just met, right? If you don't remember their name, it's not cool. You have to. If you want to remember the person, you remember the name of the person. If you want to remember the sound, you remember the name of that sound. Flat 5s, 13s, 9s, flat 3s, flat 7s. Each one of those sounds has a name and a quality that's individual to it. Okay, I think that's about it for this series of 5 videos that sort of talk about the conceptualization of the fretboard, as well as spelling chords and how they're related to the Mixolydian mode, and how arpeggios are also related to the Mixolydian mode, and then our color tones of 13 and 9, and as well, to wrap up this one, the blue notes of flat 7, which is a diatonic blue note, and the non-diatonic blue notes of flat 3, leading to 3 in most cases, and the flat 5. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you real soon.